two men who were locals, aged 28 and 30 respectively, reckoned to be the security personnel at the site, were injured by the explosion and fire that occurred. Petronas issued a statement claiming that the incident occurred at the Pengerang Integrated Complex, PIC, that is located in the southern state of Johor, owned by Petronas and Saudi Aramco. The incident occurred at approximately 1:25 a.m. on the 12th of April, which is on a Friday. The Petronas Emergency Response Team, the ERT, deployed 5 fire engines with 30 firemen promptly to the site after receiving the report. Eventually, the fire was controlled and put out successfully at approximately 2:15 a.m. The leaking gas tank at the facility was believed to have caused the explosion and the fire. No fatalities were reported for the incident that occurred. The 2 injured men were given outpatient treatment in the emergency medical facility at Pengerang Rapid Complex. One of them was hit by shards of glass from the explosion. Thankfully, he was not severely wounded. In addition, it was also reported that more than 10 houses in Kampung Lepau near PIC were damaged. No underlying causes were reported for the current incident that occurred. However, based on Henrik Domino's theory, it is presumed that this incident was categorized as an unsafe act and condition. This is due to the defective gas tank that was involved in the incident, allowing the leakage of harmful and dangerous gas. Likewise, the use of the defective gas tank further catalyzes the occurrence of the explosion and the fire.
So the first part was we had 7 victims, 4 who were found dead, and 1 was missing until later on found dead also. So in total we had 5 deaths, and 2 who have suffered from burns, and 1 actually managed to escape safely. And it was also reported that there was 10 houses in the area which have been damaged by the incident, and the blast could have actually been heard and felt by the residents in that area as far as 50 kilometers away. The emergency and fire department team were deployed, and the fire was contained in under 30 minutes only. So yeah, the Petronas team received the report, and then they sent 30 firemen who were able to control the fire by around 2:15 a.m. Whether the event was preventable, so in this case the event was caused by leaking gas tank. So yes, it can definitely be prevented by replacing, maybe always test the pipes for leaks after you install them, and then a competent person should conduct periodic checks to ensure that there are no leaks in the tanks to prevent this from happening in the future. So, and also ensure you have implemented the correct jointing method for the pipes system, because mainly in this type of event where the explosion was caused by a leaking gas tank, the leakage is mainly in the joints of the gas tank. So if it was replaced by the correct joints, it will be preventable in the future.
The potential consequences. What was the worst that could have happened? I believe if there is no help from Petronas Emergency and Response Team, those 2 locals, or maybe more in the range of the complex, could have died. All houses in the range of 1 km to 25 km could have been destroyed. The tremors that could be felt in nearby residential areas and as far off Pasir Gudang, located about 50 km away, could be worse. What prevented the worst from happening? The Petronas Emergency and Response Team dispatched 5 fire engines with 35 fighters who were able to contain and put out the fire. How often could such an event occur? Refinery and chemical plant explosions are thankfully rare, but when they occur, they often result in devastating injuries or the death of many workers. The severity potential: suffering burns, death, insured loss, lacerations, acoustic trauma, orthopedic injuries, and smoke inhalation. How many people could they even have affected? To be specific, it's Johor citizen, but in general, the event could have affected the entire world, especially the victim's family and friends.
Good day everyone, my name is Wen Hui with student ID of 20,952. I'll be talking about the recommendations to improve the workplace health and safety for both employees and employers. Firstly, we should have a training program for the employees. We can create a training manual and set up a training program that all employees must go through before setting a foot on the field. The training should cover everything from how to store tools and machinery to the proper responses to fires, falls, and other emergencies. Next, we should keep the place clean and clear. When tools are lying around or puddles of liquid are not cleaned up, it can pose a hazard for any and all workers in the area. You can assign someone to do an hourly walkthrough of the entire field to ensure it is safe and hazard-free. Furthermore, we should check tools and facilities regularly. Malfunctioning tools, loose railings, and other areas of disrepair can put your employees at risk. Make sure to check all tools, machineries, and facilities regularly to ensure they are safe for use. Lastly, we should push the OSHA guidelines. OSHA has set 4 tones of guidelines on how to stay safe and prevent injury in the workplace. They even have guidelines that are specific to the oil and gas industry. Make sure your employees have access to this information by handing out copies of guidelines or posting OSHA signs on the walls in break rooms and other areas in your facility.
For the Laws Act and Regulation, the Workplace Act and Regulation that is related to the incident that happened in April 2019 is OSHA 1994, which is also known as the Occupational Safety and Health Act. So, what is an OSHA 1994? It is an act to provide additional measures for ensuring the safety, health, and welfare of the workers, for protecting people from dangers to their safety or health because of the workers' action, for establishing the National Council for Occupational Safety and Health, and for the matters related thereto. So, the purpose of OSHA 1994. Number 1, to protect workers' safety, health, and welfare from risk posed by occupational activities. Number 2, to protect non-employees at a workplace from risk to safety and health arising from the workplace activities. Number 3, to establish a workplace environment that is tailored to their physiological and psychological requirement. Number 4 is to build a framework of rules and industry codes of practice to persevere and improve OSHA standards. So that's it from our group. Thank you very much.